This is a stimulus and Social Security update. Got some important update to share with you. With the debt ceiling officially reached, Social Security and Medicare benefits can be cut or delayed. I'll give you the details on that. Plus, we'll hear from the White House more on this situation. When it comes to stimulus, Americans to get automatic $883 direct payments this week and $450 checks mailed out in 2 weeks. Plus, with consumers cutting spending, this could lead to the big recession. Would this mean more stimulus going out? I'll give you details on that, plus some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more daily, straight-to-the-point updates on matters that financially matter to you. So as U.S. hits the debt ceiling, here's what it means for Social Security and Medicare. So if debt ceiling negotiations aren't successful, the U.S. could default on its debts. Here's why some worry it could result in Social Security and Medicare delays and proposals for cuts to those programs. So I'll give you the details on that. Basically saying that Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, warned of this. What she said here is, "I respectfully urge Congress to act promptly to protect the full faith and credit of the United States." So basically, America has maxed out its credit cards, and if we don't pay it back, then we're going to have basically debt collectors come after us, more or less, right, in layman's terms. So the Republicans and Democrats are trying to figure out what is going on with the money in Congress. In the meantime, though, things are going to have to be cut, because in order to pay back debts and to have a good credit score, things are going to have to be cut. And some of those programs could be Social Security and Medicare. So if the U.S. were to default on its debt, it would be unprecedented. The big question is whether the Treasury Department would be able to prioritize what does and does not get paid if that occurs. Unlike a government shutdown where Social Security and Medicare benefits continue to flow, that may not be the case with a default, according to ADAC. There's a good chance that the benefits for retirees and people with disabilities and survivors would be disrupted. So that's Social Security, SSI, SSDI, veterans. So it could be disrupted. Even a short delay could interfere with beneficiaries' ability to pay for healthcare, food, rent, utilities, and other necessary expenses, the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare said in a statement on Thursday. So there could be a delay in benefits, but like it said, there could be a huge domino effect where rent, utilities, everything is not being paid off. Maybe this is what kind of pops the bubble for the recession to happen or whatever economic chaos will ensue. However, the Social Security Administration may delay payments to ensure it has enough cash on hand. Meanwhile, Medicare payments may fluctuate, while other areas like federal employee salaries and food benefits through SNAP may stop. The process may be politically messy. Social Security, I'm sure, will get paid. Interest on debt will get paid. After that, flip a coin who gets paid. We don't know what's going to happen. This has never happened before. Why some worry about Social Security benefit cuts. Now, we've never gone through this before in history, but it's saying that if we do not have enough money, then certain things are going to be cut. I would think that Social Security and programs to help our most struggling would be, preserved, but some people are saying they could be cut or delayed. And then in the process, some of these programs have some type of cut to ensure this doesn't happen in the future. So I'm going to keep you updated on that. Doesn't mean it's officially cut yet, but I'll keep you updated. Stimulus update. Consumers are starting to cut spending. Will that lead to a recession and stimulus round? So I don't know about starting to cut spending. I think spending has been being cut for over the past year or for several years due to what's been going on, especially with food prices. Maybe the well-off middle to upper middle class are starting to cut spending more, but lower class fixed income people have been cutting their spending. Will this lead to a recession? So the economy has been too strong this past year to warrant a federal stimulus round. If consumer spending continues to decline, it could fuel a recession, at which point stimulus aid may be back on the table. So, as I mentioned, with the debt ceiling being reached, consumers starting to pull back, we're seeing a lot of signs of an economic decline. Is it going to happen where a big recession happens, kind of like how it was in 2009, 2008-ish, where everything was just kind of dead and silent? Could that happen? It's possible. There was a recession stimulus check back in 2008. So what this article is talking about is the decline in consumer spending, which fuels 70% of the economy. If that declines, then the economy could just go to sleep, and maybe this is when a stimulus round could wake it back up. So I'll keep you updated on that as well. We're seeing little checks here and there trickle out. So Americans to get automatic $883 direct payments thanks to $47 million pot from this week. So around 53,000 people in Cook County, this is the Chicago area of Illinois, homeowners who overpaid on their first installment in 2021 are in line for a refund. So the average refund will be around $883 going out there. And then direct payments of $450 mailed within 2 weeks to 880,000 Americans. Find out if you're eligible to receive money. So this is going on in Maine. So Maine's Winter Energy Relief Program, which will start to send out money at the end of January. $450 checks could be mailed out by March 31st, 2023. If you live in Maine and you're having trouble paying your heating bills or electricity bills, that's where the money is going to there in the state of Maine. I've seen a few other states also offer energy relief payments to help out with the winter cost of heat. And then the U.S. heads for debt ceiling standoff as House Republicans refuse to budge. I wouldn't say just House Republicans refusing to budge. It's actually both sides refusing to budge in this negotiation of what's going on. When it comes to the debt ceiling, where we're at, what's going to happen next, how is it going to affect everybody, where does the White House stand with all this? Take a look at the economic advisor here.
So let's bring into the conversation the director of the White House National Economic Council, Brian Deese. Brian, good morning. You have said, the White House has said, we're not here to negotiate over the debt ceiling. Just raise the thing like you're supposed to do, and we can negotiate budgets at another time. Is that your position this morning? Is there anything Kevin McCarthy could say that would get you to a negotiating table?
Look, the president's not going to negotiate around the full faith and credit of the United States, and for a lot of the reasons that Stephanie just outlined. This is not about new spending. This is not about new initiatives. This is about the United States meeting its bedrock commitments as a country and as a nation. And the United States commitment that we honor our obligations is the bedrock of stability in our economy and, frankly, undergirds stability in the global economy as well. It's not a conversation we should even be having, because even the prospect that you would put the full faith and credit of the United States government on the negotiating table could do real damage to our economy. We've seen this in past instances, and we don't want to do that as well, because, look, we're making an extraordinary amount of economic progress right now. We just saw unemployment claims come out this morning, lowest in decades. The unemployment rate is the lowest in 50 years. The number of people with health insurance is the highest that it's ever been in this country. Inflation is coming down. Real wages are going up. We're making progress. We need to keep that economic progress going and not have the specter of doing something unthinkable, of actually defaulting or the United States not honoring those obligations get in the way of this economic progress.
So, Brian, even as you're talking, we're looking at some red numbers early here on Wall Street. What do you say to reassure markets? What do you say to reassure Americans that you're going to find a way out of this, that Republicans somehow will come to an agreement to raise the debt ceiling, and there will not be this potential sort of crisis and catastrophe that Stephanie just laid out?
Yeah, I'd say three things. Look, first, this has happened time and time again. You put the graphic up earlier. Since 1960, Congress has acted 78 times with Republicans in the White House, with Democrats in the White House, to honor our basic obligation. Second, and as Stephanie noted, there are scores of reasonable Republicans and Democrats who understand the stakes here, who understand the consequence, and who understand that when it comes to the full faith and credit of the United States, we have to be serious and we have to be responsible. And the third is that economic progress that we are making should help middle-class families, businesses that are thinking about investing, make this period of time, even as we face a very uncertain global economic environment, make the United States relatively well-positioned to keep that progress going. For all those reasons, I think we will, as a country, meet our obligations. We always have. That's what we need to do this year as well, and that's where our position is going to stay.
Brian, if we don't, it will be because a group of Republicans won't come to the table and agree to raise this debt limit. And everyone at this table will know who's to blame, but the average American might not. Is the White House prepared for that reputational blow if suddenly we end up in an economically disastrous situation and people say, oh, well, who's in the White House? It's Joe Biden.
Well, look, we've made extraordinary progress over the last 2 years with Joe Biden in the White House. This week is the 2-year anniversary of when Joe Biden, president-elect at the time, spoke to the nation and outlined an economic strategy to not only beat the pandemic crisis, but recover stronger as a nation. Since that period, we've seen the strongest period of job growth, unemployment down to a 50-year low, inflation is coming down, real wages are going up. We're making progress in this economy, and in no small part because Joe Biden has worked with Democrats and Republicans to move an economic agenda that is making the United States a place where businesses want to invest, where they want to create jobs, where they want to center their economic activity for the long term. That's the story of what of the progress we've made over the last 2 years. That's the story we're going to stay focused on. We're going to stay focused on implementing that historic legislation, making sure companies are investing here, and making clear that, like Congresses in the past, this Congress has a basic set of obligations, and none more fundamental than maintaining the full faith and credit of the United States. And nobody should be putting on the table and even suggesting that that is up for debate or up for negotiation. We're going to continue to make that clear. I think that this president has been clear that economic stability, recovery, and working on behalf of the American people is where he is. And that, there is an extreme element that wants to pursue chaos, but we're going to work to overcome that and work to build on these economic gains. And I think and I hope that will increasingly be clear to the American people as well.
What are your thoughts on what Brian Deese has to say? Are things going to get better? Is it just a bunch of scare tactics to keep Americans in fear at all times so that they obey whatever authority says to them? Or is it something else? Is this something for real that could really happen and turn the country into economic chaos? Let me know your thoughts on that. That is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I tell you the one thing that you should do. When you feel something and you don't really feel good, then be grateful what you have. Be thankful. Because the next day it might not be there. So, that's what I wanted to say. True or false? Bye.
Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate your support. Don't mean to be doom and gloom, but just want to share with you what is going on. Anyways, today we are going on a little field trip. We're going to this nature place where we get to hike, figure out what foods are edible along the way, what's not edible. We did this last year. It was really cool. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it, but my wife and the girls will. But it was really cool. You get to see which plants are you could just eat along the way, little wild cucumbers and stuff. Anyways, hopefully you have a great rest of your day. If you want to check out any of my other videos, click right up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.